Buff Nation, we're back today. This guy needs no introduction at all, but CU's all-time leading scorer, two-time EuroLeague champ, none other than Cory Higgins. What's up, brother?
What's going on? I'm co-leading scorer, so I can't really claim that. I share that with Rich, but good to catch up with you.
Shout out to Rich Roby. 2000 or 2001 points. I gotta do my research, but I'm sure someone can help us on that. Cory, what's going on, man? Over there in Barcelona, obviously locked down like the rest of the world. What have you been up to?
Pretty much the same thing as everybody else. Just trying to get a routine from day to day. Try not to make it seem like the same thing over and over again, but mostly just working out, eating, just spending time with my baby girl, and that's about it.
Yeah, you mentioned your baby girl. Talk to us about her. Kobe, Kobii.
Kobii. Gotta have two eyes.
Two eyes. Now, from the outside looking in, has that got anything to do with the other Kobe? R.I.P.
R.I.P. of course, but why not? Now it did. We got the name obviously from Kobe, but I wouldn't say she was named after the great Kobe Bean. But we love that name, and she's a mixed baby. She's got some Asian and Black in her, so we like that name to go with her identity. And then we wanted to switch up the spelling a little bit. We added the two I's for deuce for me, because 22 is a big number in my family between me and my dad, and then it turned out great. Kobe Lee Higgins.
That's awesome, man. Looks like you put some time into that.
A little bit.
that's good. Cory, it's been a long time since Buff Nation has caught up with you. I know we try to catch up every now and then, but you've had this is why I wanted you on so bad. And I know you don't do these things a whole bunch, but your story and your pathway to where you've got to at the moment is completely different to the stereotypical professional. We've spoke to the last couple of weeks some of our NBA guys. Talk to me a little bit about your journey. I mean, I know it's a long one, but condense your journey to end up now in Barcelona, Spain.
It's definitely different than a lot, of course, of the NBA guys from CU, but it's a lot of similar. It's really the most common journey because everybody's journey is different, and you really don't know where it's going to take you. You just got to take it step by step, day by day, and just stay in the moment. Mine took me all over the place. When I came out, it was a lockout year, so I started in the D League. I didn't get drafted, so I got drafted to the D League. Then I played there until it was time, until training camp started. Then I went with the Nuggets, and then I got cut with the Nuggets, got picked up by the Bobcats, was there for a year and a half, and then went back to the D League. And then decided to take my journey overseas and try to establish myself there. First year in Russia, then I jumped to Turkey, and 4 more years in Russia, and then now I'm in Barcelona.
Sounds like you've spoke about that journey once or twice before. You got it down, but the D League at the time kind of isn't what it is today. Guys have that decision. Should I stay in the G League? Should I go overseas and make some real money? For you, what was the decision to, hey, I'm going to start this journey and get over there and do it?
For me, it was because, I tore up the D League and nothing really happened. So it was time for me to shift my focus. And at the same time, I could start making some real money. And because the D League doesn't pay anything. And so I just decided to shift my focus over here because it was a big market. A lot of guys are scared to come over here because it's definitely not for everybody. But, I'm not your stereotypical hooper or American, I would say. I'm kind of used to just taking things as they are and changing scenery, being able to move around. So I thought it was really intriguing for me. And, I got my feet planted pretty good my first year and just built from there.
Yeah, I mean, the rest is obviously history for you in Europe. I know there was one year when I was in Australia, I tried desperately to get you over there. I think we were a couple $1,000s short. But How was, I know you were obviously in Cisco for 4 years in Cisco, you said?
Yeah,
And then before that, you were in Turkey,
I was in Turkey before that.
and now in Barcelona, Spain. What's the difference between leagues? I know for a lot of the people watching today, they have no idea. If it's not the NBA or college, it's all overseas is lumped into one category. What's the difference between the style of play, the levels of play, from where you've been?
Yeah, you touched on it. Like back home, nobody knows what's going on in European basketball, but there's I mean, of course, you have the domestic league, so I got the chance to play in BTB Russian league, the Turkish league, and now the Spanish league. Um, all the leagues, they're very different in style of play. They all have their different characteristics. I think the league I'm playing in now is probably the best brand, domestic league. And then the best league you have over here is EuroLeague. And I think that's where I made my name over here. And that's where the biggest names that you see and coming from Europe, that's where they make their name before they get to the States as well. So EuroLeague is kind of what it's all about over here, if people don't know back home.
You hear some crazy stories from different owners and different leagues over there. Do you have any stories that stick out in your mind about your journey?
I don't even want to get into any specific crazy stories. Everybody has them. You're gonna have them during your journey. But I mean, I've been fortunate because I've played for a couple of the top, most prestigious clubs over here. So I've been very fortunate in my European journey because I got to see the best of the best over here.
Yeah, talk about your run with Cisco. I mean, two-time EuroLeague champion. That to me is just amazing. How hard it is to win that thing. One of my former teammates, David Anderson, spent some time there, and he just spoke so highly of the ownership and that whole town and how involved with the basketball they were. How was your experience there?
Yeah, my experience in Moscow was my best to date. I spent 4 years there. It kind of became a second home to me. And then when you win titles with people, it just changes that whole dynamic as well. And to have the whole city behind us, it was, almost the whole nation behind us. It was very pleasing to be able to be a part of that. But I have nothing but great things to say about the ownership there and the organization there. Top notch, and you won't find better in Europe.
So after Cisco, you signed in Barcelona this off season. What's it like as off the court in Barcelona? I mean, I've been there before. Obviously now we're in quarantine. You're stuck inside. But before that, how was the life in Barcelona compared to Moscow? A little different.
It was a little different, but I think that was one of the biggest things why I came here is the life off the court. Especially I had a baby girl on the way, so that played a big part into it. But it's amazing here. During my time in Europe, it's definitely the closest thing I've had to feeling like I'm at home. I'm a California kid, and this actually reminds me a lot of home. Reminds me a lot of California. It's just easy living, and yeah, I think that was probably the biggest reason for me changing.
So you talk about California. When you were at Colorado, we're in the Big 12, so we didn't venture out west too much. Now we're in the Pac-12. We go to California, 4 games, 2 different trips a year. Being a California kid growing up in high school, what was behind your decision to come to the Big 12 and play for Colorado?
Honestly, that was the biggest school that offered me, so it was pretty easy for me. I wasn't highly recruited. I think might have been my only major offer, maybe that in Georgia it came down to. But I just knew I wanted to play somewhere big and play against big schools. And somewhere that was had a lot of students, was a fun campus, and that was my only opportunity. So my decision really wasn't more than that.
So you come from Northern California. You come to Boulder, Colorado. You're driving down 36, and you see the mountains. And what's your first impression of Boulder?
First impressions when you're driving in is breathtaking because it's something you really can't imagine until you get out there. Especially how you described it, driving down that highway, and you just see the campus right next to the mountains. It's special. It's special for sure. I think it's one of the most unique college campuses in the nation. So in terms of quality of life, I don't think you can beat it.
There was a lot of change in your 4 years here at CU. Obviously, players coming and going, coaches coming and going. What got you through those times? I mean, I know you could have easily jumped and gone anywhere. You know, your career was well on the way, and you probably could have transferred anywhere you wanted to. What was when that transition from Coach Bzdelic to Coach Boyle? What do you think was the reason for you to stay, and the reason why we're able to have so much success that following year?
I mean, it had to just be the guys. I think we had a great bond between our team, and we had been building, and we're finally because when I first came, I was the first recruit of Coach Bzdelic, and we were awful. So we were awful the first 2 years, your first year there, and then we got some momentum going, and then everything kind of came undone when Coach Bzdelic decided to leave. And then, but we had the same guys that had finally found some success, and I think just that feeling that we could do something special was what kept me around.
Yeah, no doubt. That bond we had was strong. I remember specifically when he did decide to leave, we were sitting in the locker room and just kind of like, man, I can't believe, we thought we were taking off. And, I remember you specifically saying, hey, it doesn't matter what happens, who comes in, we're going to do this together. We'll do it for each other. And we definitely did. Obviously, that next year, we had a good run and kind of got snubbed there at the end, but had a good end in Madison Square Garden. So Cory, I see you wearing the Atlanta Hawks shirt there. What's behind that? You're not a Trae Young fan.
Nah, I'm just supporting the Pops. I'm a big family guy, so it could have been a Magic shirt too. Rick's down with Orlando, and my Pops is up in the front office at Atlanta, so I'm always supporting, quarantine or not.
So Rick was at CU he was just here for 1 year, right?
Yeah, he was there for 1 year.
Rick was here for 1 year with us. Now he's with the Orlando Magic with great Steve Clifford. And your dad Rod, what's his position with the Hawks?
To be honest, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think might have to edit this out before we air it, but I think it's vice president of basketball operations.
Right, and they've done an unbelievable job in turning that thing around the last 2 years. Obviously, at the moment, there's the Michael Jordan, The Last Dance documentary that just aired last night. Did you watch those first 2 episodes? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I watched them. It's great that the world can see, get an inside view on what his life was like a little bit. I think it's very exciting for everybody. So yeah, I'm just excited as everybody to watch it.
Yeah, he was a different type of leader. I know when I came to see you as a freshman, you were a sophomore, and you were more of a lead by example type. Doesn't look like you've changed too much. Pretty soft spoken. But how is that? I know on your team at the moment you have some unbelievable veterans. How is that leadership dynamic with your team?
I think it's We get it done by committee. I think because in European basketball we have a lot of seasoned veterans, a lot of people that have been very successful at championships, have a lot of accolades behind their names. So talent-wise, it's probably the best team that I've been on in Europe. But as far as the leadership, I think we just do it by committee because we have so many guys that have been there in European basketball.
Yeah. I mean, I know you say you have the most talent you've had since you've been there. What do you think? I mean, talent doesn't always win, as we know in professional sports, but what do you think is the most important thing for a young kid going over to Europe, trying to make it, trying to sustain his career? What do you think is the most important thing?
The biggest thing is European basketball is completely different, first of all. And it's always team first over here. So you got to find a way to put yourself in a position to be successful within the team. It's not like the NBA or American basketball in general. So, I mean, you have to adjust you're definitely gonna have to adjust your style of play and adjust to what the coach wants you to do, no matter what he wants you to do, because the organization and the team is always first. And if you find a way to succeed within the team, then you have a chance to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, that's winning is everything over there. You know, that's how you keep your job, how you get your job. You've done that at the highest level, man. So congratulations to you. Hope that career keeps rolling. Is that a little dog you got running around there?
Yeah, my big dog. That's
big dog.
That's my protection animal.
What kind of dog is it?
German Shepherd, black German Shepherd.
Jesus, who's coming after you? What's
if anybody wants to try something funny. No, but she's
her name.
Her name is Fifi Athena. We just call her Fifi for short. But yeah, she's a trained protection animal. So she does everything and anything you can think of that a dog could do.
Like what? Like rip a leg off or?
Yeah, rip your arm off. Speak.
So I don't need to be showing up there just surprising you. I should probably let you know before I come.
Yeah, you gotta announce yourself. For sure. Because we actually because that's a thing out here in Barcelona, that a lot of houses get broken into, and so our house actually got broken into first couple of weeks while we were here. So after that, I had to up the security a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember your old dog who's still kicking around, King, yeah. the team dog, the team mascot. Geez, he'd be what, 10 years now? 10
yeah, he's getting up there, and he's
older
still,
than that. Still kicking around.
Yeah, he's still with Sam, my old roommate, Sam Gansline.
Yeah. So. Hey, Cory, I won't keep you much longer, man. What if there was? I mean, I know you were here. You spent 1 year with Coach Boyle. I know you guys have had communication since then, but if you had one message to recruits that were getting potentially recruited by us here at the University of Colorado and thinking of coming and playing in Boulder, what message would you have for them?
I would tell them, don't think twice. I mean, if you make that decision to come to CU, 100% you're not going to regret it. Like I said, I think it's the best college campus in the nation in terms of quality of living. Everybody knows you got 300 days of sunshine. So for me, quality of living was always, in any decision, was always at the top of one of the things at the top of my list. So I would tell the student, don't think twice. Come there, you won't regret it.
Thanks, bro. Cory, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for catching up with us. I know Buff Nation loves you and appreciates you, and we'll be glad to hear this. So all the best, man. Stay safe, stay healthy, and go Buffs.
All right, bro. Appreciate you having me on.
Take it easy, brother.
Yes, sir.